good morning, and how are you this morning?
Belize City has a memory. Every street remembers footsteps. Every corner remembers names. Castle Street remembers everything. This is not a story about heroes. It is not a story about villains. It is a story about choices and how some roads once taken are hard to leave. This is the story of Gay and Bernard and a life given to the streets. Guy and Bernard's early life did not begin in chaos. He grew up in the Kings Park area, a neighborhood once known more for calm than crime. He attended St. Joseph Primary School, where teachers knew his name and expectations were still normal things: homework, respect, growing up right. Back then, Guyon wasn't Gizmo. He wasn't feared. He wasn't hunted. He was just another Belize City youth with a future still unwritten. But childhoods are fragile, and environments matter. When his family moved away from Kings Park, everything changed. The new surroundings were harsher, the influence stronger, the streets louder. Crime did not arrive all at once. It seeped in. His household became familiar to police attention, courtrooms, and whispered conversations. Guyon watched it happen. He watched as crime slowly took over his family, as survival began to mean intimidation and respect meant fear. The streets roped him in, and most of all, he also watched as his brother Leon got tangled in the street life. In 2007, Guyon's brother Leon Garcia was charged in a robbery case that shook the family. It wasn't a minor offense. It was serious, public, and violent. Leon became known to police, known to rivals, and known to the streets. Prison time followed for that crime, then release. But freedom didn't mean safety. Leon was a street figure and lived under constant threat. Targeted, shot at, warned. He was on the giving side of those threats as well. Each attempt on his life hardened him further. Each close call reinforced the idea that the street had rules. And once you break them, you don't get to leave. This reality made both Leon and Guyon tougher. They had each other's back and was prepared to do anything for the respect they desired. Guyon Bernard did not enter the street life accidentally. He chose it, shaped by environment, influenced by family history, and hardened by the streets. The name Gizmo, as he was called, had a reputation. Police reports began stacking up. Charges for attempted murder, charges for robbery, charges for firearms and ammunition. In one incident, Guyon was accused of being involved in shooting a man in his face, leading to an attempted murder charge. In another, police linked him to an illegal firearm, discovered after violent confrontations. Some cases stuck, some didn't. But in the streets, being charged was enough. Guyon became known as ruthless, a man who moved fast, retaliated quickly, and lived as if tomorrow was never guaranteed. Because for him, it wasn't. And then, the loss that cut him deep happened. On New Year's Day 2018, Guyon's brother Leon Garcia, the man who shaped his path in the streets, was stabbed to death. Not old, not redeemed, just gone. For Guyon, it was confirmation of everything he already knew. The street always finishes the story.
They were reportedly accosted by as many as 30 men from 3 different gangs. The trio unsuccessfully attempted to reach the nearby police checkpoint at the intersection near the clock tower. Garcia tried to flee from his attackers in a friend's car, but couldn't, and within seconds the group surrounded him. As his friends returned to assist, Reed was stabbed during a brawl to save his friend, but by then Garcia was mortally wounded, stabbed multiple times to the chest and abdomen.
Sometime after 3:50 in the morning, police visited the Calhoun Memorial Hospital, where they observed Leon Garcia suffering from several apparent stab wounds to the stomach and to the chest area. Initial investigation reveals that early that morning, Leon Garcia was in a company of other friends walking from Barak Road towards Victoria Street when they were attacked by a group of male persons. A fight ensued between them where he received the alleged stab wounds to his body.
Police currently have 3 persons in detention pending further investigation into this latest homicide.
The stabbing death of Leon took a major toll on Guyon. Many believe that he wasted no time in exacting revenge. The incidents were swift and numerous. The police had to take decisive measures to stop the 2 groups from going after each other. For Guyon, his brother's death only made him more ruthless.
The stabbing death of Leon Garcia in the early hours of January 1st has triggered a series of incidents across Belize City that is believed to be related. Garcia's profile is that of a ranking member of the George Street gang. The callousness with which he was attacked and killed by a mob of young men on New Year's Day has resulted in reprisals that have left 1 man dead and 2 persons injured in separate occasions. It has also sent the Belize Police Department into overdrive in a desperate attempt to stem the bloodlust.
It is of concern, of course, and reference to the forced murder of Leon Garcia. The incident happened from almost in front of the Hochandanis residence on Marine Parade. That is where the altercation began, and he was pursued until about reaching behind the retreat law form. That is where actually the stabbing happened, the alleged stabbing of Leon Garcia happened.
Since then, a fatal attack has been exacted on a husband and wife couple in the Belama Phase 2 neighborhood. On Tuesday night, Jermaine Veos and his wife Stephanie came under gunfire as they were making their way inside their home on Doris Bishop Street. The Belizean American laborer wasn't the intended target, but is believed to have been the victim of mistaken identity. Nonetheless, the standing rivalry between Majestic Alley and Victoria Street is once again playing out across the city.
Yes, we are aware of the tension between these 2 rival gangs, and we are cognizant of the fact that it might be a possibility that it is linked one to the other one.
These incidents seemed to drag on endlessly. The police seemed unable to wrestle control of the ongoing rivalry, and in Belize, once your name circulates in violent spaces, you stop living and start surviving. Every day becomes a battle. Every new morning becomes a miracle. For Guyon Bernard, he was now targeted repeatedly, shot at, ambushed, hunted. Each attempt reinforced the paranoia. Each bullet reinforced the cycle. It was kill or be killed.
It has been made on the life of 31-year-old Guyon Gizmo Bernard. On Saturday night, Bernard was reportedly on his way to an event on Victoria Street and was standing on the sidewalk in front of this residence when a vehicle pulled up. Its passengers wasted no time, opening fire indiscriminately at their quarry, as well as a companion with whom Bernard was socializing. A volley of at least 5 shots was discharged, and when the gunfire subsided, 2 persons, including Bernard and the young lady, had been wounded. According to the female victim, who asked to remain unidentified, she was seated atop this concrete fence when she observed a dark-colored vehicle approaching. When she realized what was about to take place, she attempted to seek refuge by stooping down behind the barrier. By then, however, the shooting had already begun. The lower part of the concrete fence is pockmarked, and several slugs also indented the adjacent wooden door. Fortunately, both persons survived the violent attack, but would not escape unscathed. The 9mm round tore through her left leg just below the knee. Bernard was hit in the upper left arm. It is the second unsuccessful attempt at members of his family within the past 2 weeks. It is also the second incident where a young woman is injured during the gunmen's pursuit of their target. On Tuesday, May 17th, shortly after 8 o'clock that night, Belize City Police responded to the sound of gunfire at the intersections of Freetown and Barak Roads. Upon arrival, they observed 19-year-old Chioma Williams suffering from a graze to her left hip and a wound to her right buttock. Investigations would later reveal that she was walking near the junction when a pair of men on a motorcycle drove by and let loose a barrage of shots, injuring Williams. That incident, believed to be a bid on Bernard's sibling, was preceded by a previous shooting back in January.
Then one day, Guyon's luck caught up with him. One shooting changed everything. A gunshot did what years of police intervention could not. It stopped him. The bullet didn't kill Guyon Bernard, it paralyzed him, from the waist down. For a man who once ran the streets, the wheelchair was a prison without bars, but it also became a mirror. now slowed down and isolated. Guyon was often seen moving alone through the streets. People whispered, some mocked, some pitied, some still feared him. But Guyon had changed, not completely, but enough to feel the weight of his past. It was a sunny March day, no rain, no warning. Outside his Castle Street apartment, Guyon Bernard sat in his wheelchair. A man slowed by injury, a man marked by history, and then gunshots shattered the calm of the neighborhood. Guyon Gizmo Bernard was shot dead, right where everyone knew he would be, a feared man, a broken man, a life finally caught by the same violence it once embraced.
He'd been renting at that home on Castle Street for about a month, and one of his friends and neighbors said that earlier this morning, he asked to hang out.
And somebody will just like relax and probably just dip on the block, and whosoever know I might stop and give her one the handout or whatever, and he take one drink or two, you know. So he messaged voice note me this morning and tell me, say, hey, make we link up and take on two drink. Well, I don't want to drink her like that, so at the end of the day, I tell her, say, but I'm not into that drinking right now. Probably must have a couple hours after that I come out of my yard and somebody get shot pan. Yeah, they come, man got a face pan the tar.
Bernard had been left paralyzed after he was shot in 2019. It was the same year he walked from 2 attempted murder charges. It also wasn't the first time he'd been shot. Only 3 years before that, he'd survived an attempt on his life. But despite that, his landlady and longtime friend said he was no longer a threat to anybody.
I know Guyon for years. Everybody know Guyon used to give a trouble and stuff, but since he get shot or get paralyzed, he don't really get trouble. Everybody know Guyon no threat to nobody. Even if you hear somebody that catch an argument, you say a really hard attack, but then the day before the hard attack, don't Guyon come back and apologize or everything straight to do what he again. They talk about like things they used to do in the past and how how he land, how he changed life past all of that.
And he never confided in you that maybe there was a threat or something on his side?
No, none at all.
But while they don't know why he was targeted, his friend told us he never lived in fear, despite making enemies.
Gizmo, no, I ignorant Ibali. You know, he not an ignorant person, but at the end of the day, that like, if you are a friend, he cool with everybody, and he not always respect you. He call me old school, you know. I far older than he, so at the end of the day,
All right.
if you are he can agree, we not always catch. But at the end of the day, once one of the friend, it difference. I don't know what are the situation. I don't know what happened, you know. I just come as one bedroom when no one, you know, live wrong and thing. You know, I'm a person where he always move wrong. You understand me? And he never one fearful person whereby at the end of the day, if somebody want to do something, he not stay in a house even though he in a wheelchair. You know, a youth again, he ignorant. You can't tell he nothing and he want take it just like that. You understand me? He no care because because he in a wheelchair. One next thing, he no feel sorry for himself. You understand me? He not me like one person with fearless, in the sense like he always say God got him. My question enough for one know that who do it or whatever. My question is like, why?
Bernard had 3 children.
Guyon Bernard's life was not simple. It was shaped by movement, by family, by environment, by choices made too early and paid for too long. He tried to slow down. He tried to change, but it was already too late. Crime has a memory. The streets do not forget, and it always comes back to collect. This story is not meant to shame, but to warn, because situations can change a life, but change is required to escape them. And the earlier that change comes, the better chance you have to survive your own story. Thank you for taking time out and joining me for the story. Until next time, thanks for tuning in to The Beard Man.